Okay, select this database. So where you work generally in the development database. Let me create one table. So create table EMPT ID number. Submit yourself. Okay. So name. This is what UI? UI? Hmm.
Snowsite UI.
Snowsite UI. Snowsite UI. Okay. Snowsite UI. It's a what? It's a SaaS model. Software as a service. Okay. So create the table. Okay, same thing. Now what happened? Okay, let me insert some record. Important listen. This is also one of the feature in Snowflake. One Praveen Hyderabad. Control C, Control V. Okay. So second that Kumar Ram. Okay. Chennai. Okay. Bang. Okay. So three records I'm trying to insert. Okay. Tell me in Snowflake DMLs are what? DMLs are auto. Auto.
Auto commit.
Auto committable.
Committable. So no need to commit explicitly. The DMLs will get data will get automatically committable. Okay. Now let me take the screenshot. Okay. So take the screenshot. So see now what happened. Assume like so Kumar is there. He got transferred from Chennai to Pune. Now how to modify the existing data? We should go for what concept? Go for update statement. Update EMP set city equals to okay. So Pune. Now see what happened. Now see now I did not use the where condition. Now what will happen? Tell me. Now what
All
will
the
happen?
All
records
the
got
records,
updated.
the city column will be
Pune.
changed to Pune.
Okay, now all the records, nothing but suppose if you have millions of records, what will happen? Millions of records, what
All
will
of them
happen?
will be changed.
All the
Everything will be changed.
every record will be changed. Tell me, suppose if the same thing I work in the production database, what will happen?
We
Suppose
can use
this like
PDF.
escalation. So now what happened? So see
Yeah.
now what happened? So if the same query instead of putting the where class, if I execute by mistakenly, what happened? So there will be big escalation will be there. Okay, but what happened if I want to bring in normal database? We should check the backup data and we can able to it. But here what happened here? We can able to so see now this is our current data. But you see what happened? This is what happened. Instead of one record, he updated all records. Now, what's the thing? Now, I want to go back and I want to rectify the same thing. Now, how can I rectify by using which concept?
Rollback.
Time travel.
No, one second.
time travel
Time travel.
concept.
Okay. Give me 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. Sorry. Now, suppose you roll back. I perform rollback. What is just now we discussed? Now, what we discussed? In
DMLs are
Snowflake,
auto committable.
DMLs
Update.
are auto committable. So any impact? No impact. Now what happened? So see, this is the issue. But what happened from the current position? I want to go back and access this historical data. How can you go back and access this historical data? We are having the concept of what in Snowflake?
Time travel.
So
Time
see,
travel.
time travel concept. See, so now we are discussing time travel. See, point we need to understand is that what in Snowflake, now this is the current data. From the current data, I want to go back and I want to access the historical data. Now, how to access the historical data? We should go for what concept? Having the concept of time travel is there. So this is very important. So cloning, time travel, failsafe, these are the important features available in Snowflake. Simple thing. Now see, now select one. Whenever I execute anything, what happened? Tell me, Snowflake is generating. See, so see, earlier discussed query profile. Now instead of query profile, now see, copy query ID. Now what happened? Whenever I execute any statement, Snowflake is giving what? One query ID. See, Control Enter. Okay, again execute the same thing. Now what happens? Snowflake is giving one query ID. Tell me both are same or different?
No, both are unique.
Different.
Both are different. So see,
Different.
Both are different, sir.
whenever I execute anything, what happened? Snowflake is okay. So Snowflake is generating what? A unique value. Okay, got the point. So this is the functionality. Okay, see, the same thing will use the same functionality. Let me go back here and try to use the same functionality. Okay, see, this is important. Listen. Okay. So remember in Snowflake 20-25 topics will be there, that's it. Okay. Now how many cards are there? Select stars from. If I use create or replace, what will happen? Tell me. Anyone important?
It will drop the
Uh,
table and
drop
create the new
the
one.
Yes.
Tell me what will happen.
drop and create the table imperative.
Yes.
Tell me what will happen. One more time.
Drop and create the
Okay,
table
so see,
again.
so if table is already there, it will drop the table and recreate it. Now, how many cards will be there in the table? It's a new
Zero
table.
records.
No, it says no records will be there. Okay.
No records.
No records will be there. This is the functionality. Okay, got the point. So same thing now what happens in, so create or replace. Okay, now see, let me, now what exactly happening? Tell me now, see here. Okay, one second, give me, sorry, one. Now see what happened. See, select star from EMP table. Now see how many records are there.
Zero records.
Okay, so zero records. Now one second. I'm trying to create one table. What happens? Snowflake is generating one query ID. Okay. So control V. Now same thing, execute the same thing. Snowflake is generating what? One query ID. Copy it and paste here. Same thing. Now what happened? Okay, now see, execute the same thing. Now what happens? Snowflake is generating one query ID. Okay, control V. Okay, so we'll see the same thing. Why I'm trying to copy. Okay, control V. Now see, this is same thing. Now how many records are there in my table? So 3 records are there. Okay, now see the same
That
thing. One second. Update. Okay, see, understand the functional simple only. EMPTT set city. Now see what happened. I taken the screenshot. This is my current data. City equals to USA. Okay, now see, I am not using where condition. Now what will happen? Tell me.
All the
all
records
cities
get
USA.
uploaded.
Tell me
All
now.
the
All
records in the
it will
city
be
column.
okay. Okay, all the records city column will updated to USA. Tell me, is it correct? Okay,
Uh,
see now if I put
No.
rollback
Yes,
also,
sir.
what happened? Rollback also it will have no impact because data is already committed, no impact. Now see what happened from the current position. I want to go back and access this historical data. So this is, see, now tell me this is the current data or historical data.
Current
Current
data.
data.
Which is the current data? This is the current data. Okay, so this is the current data. Now this is what? This is the
Historical data.
historical data. Now see the same thing. Now from the current position, I want to go back and I want to access the historical data. We are having the concept of what? Time travel, time travel. See, select a star from this is the current data. So we should go for once command before statement. We should pass the query ID. Okay, so this is the syntax. So select star from this is the current data. If I want to go back, now see what happened. So see this data, control V. Now tell me now what's the data? Tell me what's the data?
Pune. City is
It will
Pune.
roll back to the, it will show the previous data which we have inserted previously in the first time.
No, that is not go back. No, now see what happened.
It
So
will
see
show the historical data.
historical data, not rollback. We from the current position, I can go back and access the historical data. See if it see data is there. This is the permanent data. This is the historical changes. We can go back and access it. If you're not able to understand simple thing, okay, see the same thing. Now how many records in my table? So 3 records with the modified data. Now see the same functionality. Control C, Control V, syntax error before statement. What I should pass here? The query ID. Which query ID need to pass here? So see, suppose, so as of now, how many records will be there at this particular point of time? 3 records are there. So before this, how many records are available?
2.
2 records.
So 2 records are available. So see, 2 records are available. Got it? Okay, got the point. So see, simple thing only. Okay, see the same thing. Okay. Okay, see the same thing. Simple concept. Okay, see. Okay, see. As of now, how many records? 3 records are there. Okay. So before this statement, how many records are there? 2 records are. Tell me before this statement, how many records will be available? And tell me before this
1
statement,
records.
1 record
One.
will be
1 record.
available. Okay. Same thing, copy the same thing. Now tell me before this statement, how many records will be available?
0.
0.
0 records will be available. No records. So from see simple thing. Okay. Now what happened? Now copy the same. Tell me before this table, how many records are there? It will work or not? It will throw error. Okay, see now
Error.
same thing. So statement cannot use this, so we can't able to find the function. So this is the concept. One more time, let me go back here. So see the same thing. So from the current position, I want to go back and access the historical changes. Now see what happened. Now how many records are there? Now how many
3.
records are there? So 3 records are there. But what happened? Now tell me now what we perform. Now see what exactly now? Now tell me now. I did a mistake. What is this mistake? So the instead of 1 record, okay, I update for all the records. Now from the current position, I want to go back and access the historical changes. How can you go back and access? You should go for what concept? Go for time travel concept before this statement. Same thing, control V. Now if I put at, now tell me now what happened. So see at this particular point of time, how many records are there? Tell me.
3.
Now see the same thing. Now see control V. Understand the functionality. So see now at this particular point of time, okay, how many records will be there?
3 records.
3 records.
Sorry, 2.
Now tell
Before
me.
No, sir.
3
3
records.
3.
Tell me how many records?
3
3
records, sir.
records.
Tell me 3 records, huh? So 3 records. Okay, at nothing but what? Okay, at nothing but what? So see at this particular point of time, how many records are there? Tell me at this particular point of time. So see, there are 3 records are. So 3 records are available. Got the point? So this is so far good. Okay, getting a point a little bit somewhat. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the concept. Okay, so simple concept. Okay, see, select star from the same thing we can able to. Okay, so before nothing but what? At this particular point of time, okay, we can go back and we can able to access it. Okay, so this is the concept of time travel. I'll try to explain one more time. So this is very important feature. Okay, so getting the point of cloning is nothing but what? Tell me.
It's backup of the table.
Taking backup.
Tell me now what happened. So cloning method to take a
Take.
backup of a table, backup of a table. Okay, same thing now. What happened? So let me go back here, see the same thing. So select, okay. So select star from. So create one table, create table. So T1 ID number. Okay. So create the table. So insert into T1 values 1. Okay, so 2. Okay, 3. Now see what happened. Okay, suppose like step by step we'll go for. Tell me whenever create anything, what happened? Tell me. Tell me now what happened. See the same thing.
Value
Okay.
insert.
Whenever I insert any record, what happened?
One query ID will be
Query
generated.
ID will be generated. Okay, query ID will be generated. So far good. Same thing now what happened? Okay, so far good. Okay. Same thing. Let me copy the same thing. Control V. Okay, now second record. Understand the step by step. So tell me for this one computation power required or not? Tell
Require.
me Require. Okay,
Required.
see, require. Okay, see, require. Okay, so the same thing. Okay, see, got the point. This is the functionality. Okay, so for good, this is the functionality. Okay, same thing. What happened? Control C and control V. Okay, so got the point. Simple concept. Okay, control C, control V. Okay, see the same thing. So three records are inserted. Okay, see simple thing. Okay. Now what happened? Copy the query ID. Step by step. For every statement, Snowflake is generating one query ID. Simple thing. Now how many records will be there in my table? Tell me.
3 records.
Three
Tell me.
records.
3 records with it. This is the current data or historical data? Tell me.
Current data.
Okay, this is the current data. Okay, see, this is the current data. Okay, so same thing. Now what happens? Suppose see, I by mistakenly truncate table T1. Now what happened? Tell me, when we truncate, what will happen? Tell me.
Data will be
Delete.
deleted.
Data
All
will
the
be, okay, all the records will be
data will
removed.
be
Tell me,
deleted.
in Snowflake perspective, truncate is a DDL or DML? Normally.
DML.
DML. Okay, so generally it's DML.
DML.
Okay, it's DML. In Snowflake perspective, truncate is a DML. We can revert the changes. But what happened in Snowflake? Tell me, DMLs are what? DMLs are
Auto committed.
auto commit. Auto
Autocommittable.
commit. Auto commit. Okay, see the same thing. Auto commit. See, it will be true. Nothing but what? Whenever performing, data will get automatically commit. We can't able to revert the changes. Okay, now see. Now what happened? Now instead of one table, I I truncated other table. Now what happened? Now I want to get these 3 records. Now how to get these 3 records? We should go for what concept?
Time travel.
Time travel concept. So select stars from T1. As of now, how many records are there? So okay, how many records are there? No records are. But
0.
what happened now? I did not copy the truncate query ID. Tell me, if I execute 100 statement, can I copy the 100 queries ID, sir?
No.
Tell me, no, it is not
No.
possible. So for this purpose, what we're having the concept of what? See, we can able to see the history,
Query
or you
history.
can go for see, click on this history. Okay, query history. Now what we perform, what operation I perform?
Yes,
Truncate.
Truncate.
Okay, see truncate. Okay, Ramu, mute yourself or make of earphones. Okay, now see. Now what I need to go for what? See, search SQL text. What I want to search for what? I know one part, that is truncate. Okay, see truncate, apply filter. Not only this is the statement. So truncate table correct. Now what happened? Copy the query ID. Copy the query ID. Now go to the projects. Go to the SQL worksheet. Okay. Now see what happened. Select star from T1. This is
T1.
active data. Now what happened before the truncate
Before.
statement? I want to go
Mhm.
back and access the historical data. Now see how many records will be there? 3 records, correct? Okay. Tell me now what happened. Assume like I did a mistake. Now how many records are there in my table? 0 records. Now I want to take this data. I want to populate the main table. How to populate? By using which concept? By using insert statement. Tell me what exactly I'm trying to do. Tell me.
Historical data we are inserting back into table T1.
Same thing. So see, by mistakenly I did a mistake, but I want to rectify it. How to rectify? By using time travel concept. Now tell me how many records will there in my table? 3 records will be there permanently. Got the point? It's a simple thing. So same functionality. This is the concept. Before statement and at statement. Suppose see the same thing. Select the star from T1 at statement. Tell me at this particular point of time, how many records will be there? Tell me at this particular point of time, how many records will be there?
Two.
Two records. So at this, so whenever I execute, no, there'll be 2 records. If I put before statement, how many records will be there?
One record.
One record. Got the point. A simple concept. So before and at the statement. This is the concept. Okay. So clear so far. So simple thing. Same thing. If I did a mistake in the on-premises or any other database, what happened? So we should take that backup of any table and we want to go back and rectify it. Now see what happened. We can't able to check each. We can't able to write each and every query. For this purpose, what happened? We'll go for what? Go for query history. So see. So query history. Okay. So query history, what happened? So see filters. Okay. Now, if you know something, if you know the query ID, suppose I know truncate statement. Now see, okay, this is the pattern matching. Now see what happened. We can go back and we can able to access the functional. Got the point? Huh? So simple concept. Okay, see concept. We can able to go back and rectify the function. Getting it? This is the ask a question. We'll go for a little bit detail. Okay, simple thing. Okay, see now simple thing. What happened here? So here table types concept will come into picture. Then you can able to understand time travel easily. So remember there are two types of tables we'll use mostly: the internal tables and external tables. Okay, so very important. Internal tables and external tables. Okay, see remember I'm sending some videos before now prior. Check those videos so that it will be comfortable while listening these sessions. Okay. Tell me what is the internal tables and external tables? Anyone, any guess?
Tables within Snowflake are the internal tables.
Go ahead. So see, internal tables nothing but what? Our table data will be stored inside what? Inside Snowflake. Where exactly? Tell me in which Snowflake? Nothing but in which layer? In the
Storage layer.
Storage
in
layer.
the form of micro partition.
Micro partitions.
Okay, so this micro partition information, who's holding metadata? The
Metadata.
metadata
Metadata.
Cloud
management.
service.
Clouds and metadata. So here point no table types nothing but internal tables, external tables. Our table data will be stored inside Snowflake. So what about external tables? Our table data will be stored where?
Stored in
Outside Snowflake.
site.
We'll see the same thing in the loading part. Internal tables nothing but our
AWS.
table data will be stored where exactly in which layer in the in which
Storage
layer?
layer.
Storage layer in the form of micro partitions. So this is the internal tables. Our data will be stored within Snowflake. What about external tables? Our table data will be stored where? Outside Snowflake. Outside Snowflake, nothing but in the cloud. Nothing but AWS cloud, Azure cloud, and GCP cloud. Okay, so simple thing. Right now we're working on internal tables. Our data will be stored inside Snowflake. Again, these are divided into internal tables are divided into permanent tables. Important listen, permanent table. So transient table and a temporary table. Okay, very, very important. We'll use the same thing in real time also and interview also very, very important. So permanent table, transient table, temporary table. So these three tables are linked to time travel concept. So simple thing. Now what happened? So by default, whenever we create any table, it will create as a permanent table. Simple thing what happens. See, let me open the same thing. Now I am trying to create table EMP permanent. Now see what happened. By default, whenever I create any table, what happened? What table we created? By default, it's a permanent table. We'll see the same thing. Okay. Same thing. Okay. So created just now. EMPP. So see by default, whenever I create, it's a permanent table. Same thing, copy the same thing. Now I want to create a transient table. At the completion of the session, it should be complete idea. I'll get okay, don't worry. Now I'm putting transient keyword. Now what type of table will be create? Any guess? It's a transient table. Now same thing. Now I want to create a temporary table. Now tell me anybody guess what I should put? What's the keyword?
Temporary or temp?
Temp or temporary. We can put temp or temporary. Temporary. Okay. Now see, now what type of table we created? Temporary table we created. Tell me how's the list of tables? List of tables. Show tables. Show tables. I want to get only these three tables. How to get only these three tables?
Pattern.
Like
EMPPPP percentage.
percentage.
Now see three tables are populated. Tell me by the names or see what happened. If you see here, kind. So this is what type of table? It's a
permanent table.
Permanent table, temporary table, transient table. So see here. So we are creating the development database. So see development schema table. It's a permanent table, temporary table, transient table. So permanent table. So if you don't by default, what type of table created? It's a what type of table? It's a permanent table. Same thing if I put temporary, it's a temporary table, transient table. If you see here, no one column is there. This is important. What that column? That is retention time. Anybody knows that this is important column, retention time? Anyone, any idea? Will please see the same thing, retention time. Noah? So see, simple thing now, what action? See,
For
okay, simple. I'll give one example use case, simple thing. Suppose I'm having one phone is there. In the phone, there are 100 photos are there. Simple use case. In this 100 photos, what happened? Okay, now I deleted 10 photos. Tell me currently how many photos will be there currently in my active
90.
data? 90 photos. Now in the recycle bin, how many photos will be there in recycle bin?
10.
10
photos.
10 photos. Tell me in the recycle bin, how long the data will be there?
30 days.
30
1
days,
month.
or assume like 30 days or 40 days, assume like 30 days. So what about here? What about here? How many days will be there here? In the currently
Permanent.
permanently, no,
Always.
up to always. Okay, assume like permanently. Okay. Now see what happened. Suppose see, okay, after few days, now what happened now? I assume like 2 photos are important. Now what I can do? Hmm.
Restore.
We can
Do
restore it. No,
Restore.
restore. Okay, so restore. Suppose what happened after 30 days? Okay, suppose after 30 days, if I want to bring the photos is Paula. No, it is not
No.
possible. So here point, no, here 30 days nothing but what? So we are asking the deleted photos to store up to how many days? 30 days. Same thing here also, retention time is nothing but what? The historical changes, simple thing. The historical changes we are asking to Snowflake to store for particular period of time. Okay, this is called as what? Data retention time. One more time. So simple thing here, 30 days nothing but what? We are asking our phone somebody to store the historical or deleted data up to 30 days. Same thing here also what happened. So we are asking to Snowflake to store the historical changes up to certain period of time is called as data retention time. Tell me by default for all the for the three tables is what? Retention time is what?
1
One nothing but 1 day.
1
Okay.
day.
So by default for all the three tables, the data retention time is 1 day. 1 day nothing but what? Suppose if I execute one statement, okay, suppose let me go back here. Okay, see the same thing. Let me go back here. Now see, tell me this statement up to how many days we can able to access this statement. Right now I execute 9:45. Tomorrow 9:45 if I execute it will be same. Tomorrow if I execute at 9:46 the data will coming up 9:46.
No.
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 So because no up to 1 day nothing but what suppose we execute the query ID right now. Now what happened? Okay, up to 1 day the same query ID we can go back and we can able to access the historical changes. This is a concept of time travel. We can go back and we can able to access the historical changes. Got it? So simple concept. Okay, see one more time. So here data retention time is nothing but what? So we are asking to Snowflake to store the historical changes to up to certain period of time. This is called as what? Data retention time. Tell me by default for all the three tables is what? How many days we can able to go back and access?
1 day.
1 day.
Where we can check this data? How many days we can able to check? Where we can check?
All
Day.
details are
Retention
Query.
time
In
column.
for
Where we need to execute? In the show tables. Show
Like
tables, we should go for retention time column is there. Got the point? A simple thing. Okay, so we can go back and we can end. So by default, what type of table we created by default? So it's a
permanent table.
permanent table. If I want to put temporary, temp keyword, transient, transient. Suppose see what happened. Assume like this table is important. Now I want to see simple thing. I'm using one keyword, alter table, set data retention time in days equal to 2. Now copy the same thing, Control C, Control V. Okay, Control C, Control V. Now tell me now what exactly I'm trying to do this line number 11. Anyone? 11, what exactly we're
changing
trying to
the
do?
We
retention
are
time
checking
to
the
2.
data
period
retention
time
time in days for
increase.
2 days.
To what exactly we are asking Snowflake? Tell me.
Up to
To
2
store
days,
the
we can
historical.
go back and see the historical changes.
Okay, see, we are asking Snowflake instead of 1 day, store for how many days? Store for
2 days.
2 days.
2
What 2
days.
days? What will store? The historical changes.
Historical
changes. Okay. Now see what happened. Show tables. Now see instead of 1, it will be 2 record. 2 will be there. Okay, same thing. So see instead of 2, what happened? I make it to 30. It is working fine. I make it to 90. It is working fine. But when I make it to 91, it will work. It won't
No,
work. Okay, see
No.
maximum of how many days for permanent table? 90 days.
90.
90 days. Okay. Same thing. Let me go for transient table. Okay, simple concept. Okay. Okay, see now what happened? Make it to 2. So not possible. What about temporary table? We'll see the differences are very, very important. Okay. Now what happened? Tell me. So it is not possible. So now what's the conclusion? So by default for all these tables, it is 1 day. Now what happened? We can able to change to 90 days. This is for 1 day and this is for 1 day. Got the point. The same thing. Let me go back here. Tell me this is, assume that this is the current session. Open one more session, new session. Important. Now we are in which database? DevDB, dev schema. Tell me by using query how to find outright use database. So DevDB, control enter. So use schema. So these basics are important. Now how to see list of tables? Now see how many tables we are getting populated. So 3 tables are getting populated. But when I copy the same thing, when I see here now, we'll get only 2 tables. Now tell me which table is missing.
Temporary
Table is
table.
so temporary.
Temporary.
So now what's the conclusion? Temporary tables are session
Session.
specific
Session based.
table. Okay, so only this will be available for the particular session only. Session only. See one more time. So by default, whenever I create any table, say what table? Say permanent table. If I want to create transient, put the transient keyword, temporary keyword. For all these 3 tables, by default attention time is 1 day, 1 day. So maximum of how many days we can go for 90 days. What is temporary table difference? It's a session specific table. Only the particular session we can able to access the same functionality. Got it? So one more time, we'll see the same use case. Concepts are simple. Just understand the functionality, make it working. So create table. So TY. Tell me this is by default what type of table?
Permanent table.
Permanent table. So by what about the detention time? By default is
1
1
day.
day, 1 day, 1 day. Okay, same thing. Now let me insert into TY values 1 record. Okay, 1 record is there. Copy the statement. Copy the query ID. So control V. Now select star from how many records will be there? Tell me. TY table.
1
1 record. Okay. So before the statement, how many records will be there?
0.
0 records. Okay. So before statement. Okay. Statement, important concept. So remember, okay. So paid resume, I'll try to purchase. Okay. See. So join the same link. Okay. You can able to get it. So see now what happened. Tell me now how many records is there now? No records are there. Okay. Now what happened now? I try to drop the table. So drop table TY. Okay. Now tell me now table will be dropped. Now tell me this statement will work or not?
No.
Tell me why? Why?
Table is not available.
Tell me.
We dropped the table.
So table not do. What about time travel? It will work or not? Line number 6. Important point. Tell me it will work or not? Tell me it will work or not? Okay, now see the same thing. Now what happened? Okay, see. Okay, now tell me now. Okay, see this drop table. Now tell me this line number 6 will work or not? Tell me this line number 6 will work or not?
Not
It
work.
will not work.
Why? Because since the table is not there, no, it won't work. Okay. So this is okay object. does not exist. But what happened now? See, now I want to bring that data back. How to bring the data back by using which concept?
Retention. Time travel.
No, time travel. See now what happened. So when the table is there, we can go back and we can able to query like this. But table is not there. Now we should go for what concept? Go for what? Go for which keyword? Go for undrop. Undrop is also time travel feature. See the same thing. Now we can able to bring the data back one more time. If you're not able to understand, let me go back here. Same thing. Let me create one table. Tell me by default, this is what type of table? What type of table?
Permanent.
Permanent table. And retention time is what?
1 day.
1 day.
1 day. Okay. So 1 day. Okay. Now 1 day nothing but what is 1 day? So we can go back and we can able to access the historical data up to 1 day. Okay. So
1
now
day.
that into so you values 1. So insert the record. Okay. Now what happened? Tell me Snowflake is generating what? One query ID.
Query ID.
Query ID. Control V. Now select start from you. Now how many records will be there?
1.
One record. Now what happened? Now we can able to access the historical data. Suppose if from the current position, I want to go back and see the data. Now we should go for what concept? Go for now how many records will there? Now 0 records will there.
0 records.
I drop the table. So drop table you. Tell me now it will work out the select statement. It won't work.
No.
What about time travel? It won't work.
No.
When the table is there only, we can go for this type of approach. Now I want to go back and I want to access. We should go for what concept? Go for what's the keyword?
Undrop.
Drop.
Undrop.
So time travel feature. Okay. So one more important thing. Okay. See, undrop is also time travel feature. See, simple concept. Okay. Let me go back here. I'm trying to create two tables one more time. So T6 ID number. So data retention, we can able to put like this retention time in days equal to 1. Now what is 1? Tell me. 1 nothing but the historical changes to access the time travel is there, we can able to access 1 day. Now copy the same thing. Now what exactly now T61 I put to 0. When I put to 0 nothing but what important point, what exactly it means?
Time table is
Historical changes won't be
So we need to say when we put 0 nothing but what? We are disabling what? Disabling what?
retention time.
Disabling the time
Time
travel.
travel.
So see, we are so by default it's a permanent table. It's a disabling the time travel. Now what happened? Let me drop the tables. Drop table T6. So this table is dropped. So drop table T61. Tell me how to bring the data back by using which concept? By using which
undrop
concept?
Drop.
Undrop. Tell me first one will come or not? First one? First one will be populating or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because okay. What about second one? Any
No.
guess? No. Why?
Because data retention time in days is equals to 0.
So we should say like we have disabled the time travel. We disabled the time travel. Now see what happened. So table did not exist or was passed. So once we disable what happened, we can go back the same thing. Suppose this table is important. Okay, assume that this is the important table. So much of transaction happened. Now I want to bring this data back. Now how to bring this data back based on which concept? Anyone, any guess? This is important table. Okay, so this is very important table. So by mistake I perform the same thing. But what happened? I want to go back and I want to bring the data back. Now how to bring this concept? Anybody? So we're having
time
the
travel.
concept of fail-safe
Failsafe.
concept.
Safe.
Fail-safe. So simple thing. So see
Contact Snowflake.
fail-safe thing. Very, very important. So see the same thing here. You need to understand what. So once time travel ends or once we disable the time travel, okay, now our data will be moved to it, will be moved to fail safe. This is there for 7 days, available only for what? Only for permanent
Permanent table.
tables. 1 second, let me help you, then you can able to ask the question. Concepts is simple only. Okay, let me go back here. Go to the time travel concept. Okay, see the same thing. Very, very important. See. So Snowflake time travel enables access to historical data, modified data, dropped data, deleted data. So nothing but what? So once so see select star from data will be coming from what? Coming from the main table. When you perform anything now, where we can get from the what concept? So time travel at or before or undrop. So once time travel and once you disable, what happened? Data will be moved to where? Where?
Failsafe.
Failsafe.
Failsafe. So failsafe is available for which table only?
Permanent
Permanent
table.
table.
Table. How long we can able to access the failsafe? Maximum of how many
7
days?
days.
7
7
days.
days.
7 days. Okay. See one more important thing. No user operation allowed. Data recover only by whom? Only by
Snowflake.
Snowflake guys.
Snowflake. So see point no remember. So time travel we can able to access, but once the time travel ends, what happened? The data move to the failsafe for 7 days. That is for permanent table. No user operation allowed. Data record only by Snowflake. The company Snowflake, we should raise a service request to them to bring the data up to 7 days. Tell me after 7 days, can we bring the data back?
No.
No. Okay. See the difference? Then you can able to ask the question. See, so by default, whenever I create any table, what type of table say? Say
Permanent
Permanent.
table.
permanent table. Now, how to create transient table and temporary table? We should use
By
transient keyword.
using
We should use
transient.
temp.
Transient and temporary keywords.
Tell me this table we draw available what up until we drop manually. Drop table name. Drop table name. What about this one? Tell me. Tell me.
It is
So this.
Session
So
based.
suppose see.
session
Session
based.
based.
Suppose see. Let me go back here. Simple thing. Okay, see the same thing. Now, how many tables are there? EMPPP, copy the same thing. So it's a session-based table. Let me go back here. Let me execute here also. Now tell me now how many tables are there? So 3 tables are
3.
there. Temperament table, temporary table, transient table. Let me log out the session. Again, log in the session. Now see what happened. Now how many tables are there? 3 tables. But when you try to execute one more time, what happened? How many tables will be there? See?
2 tables.
So 2 tables.
Two
Which
tables.
table happened? What happened?
Temporary
Temporary table
table
is
will
not
be
there.
So once we close the session, what happened? The table will be
Session
dropped
expired.
automatically. Okay, once the session closed or session expired, no, the temper table will be dropped automatically. We can't able to bring the data back. Okay, we'll see the same thing when we'll go for this type of table in the loading part. So which type of table? I'll try to explain. Now tell me time travel be what? Retention time 0 to 9 days, 1 day, 1 day. Once time travel and what happened? Data move to the fail safe. How
fails.
long? 7 days. Tell me failsafe, who can bring the data? Who can bring the data for from failsafe?
Snowflake.
Snowflake person.
Snowflake persons. We should raise a service request. Tell me after 7 days, can you bring the data?
No.
No.
No, it
No.
is not possible. Tell me data visible to all users. What about this temporary table? Only session-based table. Only
Session.
particular test session we can able to go back and we can able to access the data. So by default, whenever create any table, it's a permanent table. Okay, so if you want, we can able to change the functionality. Ask a question, important point. Go ahead. Anyone, any questions? Important topic. Snowflake, cloning, time travel, and fail safe and internal tables. Permanent table, transient table, temporary table. I'll explain in detail in which situation go for permanent table, temporary table, transient table. Go ahead. Somebody's having any doubts, huh? Go ahead. Important topic.
Means in real-time scenario, temporary tables only we will be using it, right? Means or in the database itself we are
No,
having
we'll
that
create all
table.
type of tables. We'll use, okay, see, as a part of Snowflake, we'll work on the all 3 tables, permanent table, transient table, temporary tables. I'll explain the data loading part, the way, when you go for which type of table, all this.
Oh.
We'll use all these 3 tables and external tables as we'll use. Any other question? The same thing. Now we'll see some intro questions. Okay, very, very important topic. Tell me, by default retention time for temporary tables is what?
1 day.
1.
1 day.
1 day.
So those who are writing for
Sorry, 1 day.
Snow no, like this only that questions will be there. Okay, so same thing. Okay, tell me type of table correspond to Snowflake session.
Temporary
Temporary
table.
set.
Same based
Temporary.
temporary same thing. Okay. Tell me what's the failsafe period of transient tables?
7 days.
Zero.
0.
7
Zero.
days.
See, don't be in a hurry, but
No
it's a
fail.
7 or 0.
Permanent table, yeah.
For transient tables
Permanent
is 0. So only for
Zero.
permanent table. How to disable time travel on a table? Supposedly I want to disable time travel. How to disable important point?
Retention
Alter
time is 0.
Data
alter
retention time in
Zero.
days equals to
Table
0.
name. Set
alter
data
table name.
retention time in
Set
days.
data retention time in days equal to 0. Suppose this is permanent table. Now data will be moved to what?
Failsafe.
Failsafe. Okay.
Failsafe.
Tell me what the constraints in Snowflake. Tell me in the Snowflake how many constraints we can create?
Unique, not null.
Primary key,
Unique,
Primary
foreign
key
not
and
key,
null.
foreign key.
Primary key,
default,
foreign key.
Foreign key.
not
So
null.
Default.
which constraints is enforced in Snowflake? Only
Not
Not
null.
null.
Not null.
only not null constraint is getting enforced. This is the same functionality. So far good. Okay. Now see some intro questions. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, see the same thing. Let me go back here. Okay. 1 second, please. 1 second. Now see the same thing. Let me go to the task. Okay. Tell me how to disable failsafe.
Alter table, set data
Understand the question.
retention time in days equals to 0.
See
Oh,
the question.
sorry,
Don't be
sorry.
nervous. Okay. Tell me. Anyone? How disable failsafe?
We cannot
Maybe if we
disable
create
failsafe.
transient.
So remember, we cannot able to disable the failsafe. So by default, whenever create permanent table, failsafe will be automatically once time it will be there. Okay. Now if I don't want failsafe, we should go for what type of tables we should prefer?
Transient table.
Transient or temporary.
Transient or
Temporary.
temporary table. Okay. So sometimes we don't want to go for failsafe. We should go for what table? Transient or temporary tables. Simple question. See, I have an existing employee table. Okay, see the same thing, employee thing. Okay. Employee table. Okay. So I am going, supposing there are 10 records are there in my employee table. Okay, now I truncate the truncate employee. Now how many records will be there here? 0 records will be there. Okay.
0.
Now tell me, and I reinserted 5 more records. Suppose like insert 5 records. Now tell me if I use select the start from, now how many records will be there in my EMP table?
5 records.
5 records. Now see the question what they're asking. So now is there any way to get the old 10 records back? Now I want to get this 10 records back. Now how to get this 10 records back? We should go for what concept?
Time
Time
travel.
travel.
Instead of asking what is time travel, he's asking like this. Okay. Tell me the syntax.
Select
Let's start
Statement.
from
Before
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 statement implies
from where I
statement
need to
Enter.
get
query ID.
query ID of which query ID? Line
Truncate.
number? Truncate query ID. So where you can able to get from the query history. Okay, so truncate query ID. Okay, so truncate. Now what happened? Now I want to go for at statement. Tell me, is it possible at statement? Instead of before, I want to go for at statement. Tell me, it's possible or not?
insert.
Yes, at the
Where I want to go? Which
10
statement
records
instead? So
10th record.
10th record insert statement. I want to go and I want to put the 10th record. Simple concept. Got the point of this? Simple thing. Okay. Let me go for one more important use case. So I create one table. So something like this ID number. Okay. So now insert into this table ETT values 1. Okay. Assume like 2. Okay. 3 records are there. Now how many records in my table? Select the start from ETT.
3 records.
So 3 records. Copy the query ID. Okay. Now how many records will be there? If I use before statement, tell me.
0 records.
0 records will be there. Normal process.
0.
Okay. 0 records. Okay. Statement. So control V. Okay. So 0 records are there. Okay. Now what happened? Let me use create or replace. Okay, now this is important thing. So create or replace. So create or replace nothing but what will happen? Tell me.
Table
It will
dropped
drop
and
and then
recreated.
it'll again create it.
Dropped and recreate it. Okay, now see, this is the table. We drop it and we now how many cards are there in my table? 0 or 3?
0 records.
0. It's a new
0.
table.
records.
Now what happened? See this question. What expectation? See this question. So in my table contains 3 records are there. I used to create or replace, but I want to get these 3 records back. Now how to get these 3 records back?
Time
Anybody?
travel.
Time travel. So
First
see,
we
now see.
undrop.
Now if I put time travel, see it says time because this is separate table, this will be separate table. So time travel data is not available. Now this is different. So remember, so this will access a new table, this will access a old table. So both are different table. Now how to bring the data back? Anyone? Any idea? Important thing. Now see here what happened. See.
We can undrop the data.
Undrop. Suppose see if I undrop. Tell me, okay, tell me in database, one name should be given for how many objects?
Only one
Only
object.
one.
One object. Says what?
Only one.
Object already. See what happened in the show tables history. See the history. Now there are how many entries are there? 2 entries are there. Okay, see. So one is what? One is drop down. This is drop table. So 3 records are there. This is how many records? Okay,
0
tell me
records.
0 records. Now tell me which is the active table. So down one is the active
0
table.
records.
Now I want to get this data back. Now tell me now what I should do. So C is saying what? So in
Rename
you need to
it.
understand in database one name should be given for how many objects? Given for one object only. Now what happened? Now I want to get this data back. Now how to get this data back? So see, first we should make this name available. So see, since this name is already available, I want to change the name. Tell me how to change the name. Alter table
Alter
table name.
table
So
name
rename
Set.
to old table.
okay, new table. Okay. Now tell me in the table data will be there. So see now this name is available. In the show tables history, what happened? Only drop table is there. Now how to bring this data back? We should go for what concept? By using
Undrop.
undrop feature. Okay, simple thing. Let me help you. So see, you need to understand what in database. Tell me in database. Tell me.
Only
One
one
object with one name.
one name for one
Only
object.
one name should be given for only one object. One object. Okay. Now, point you need to understand is that what? Okay, see. Let me go back here. Let me help with the same functionality one more time. So these are important. Okay, so when you work now, same concept we can able to use. So create table. So y id number. Okay. So tell me, can you create the same name one more time? Tell me. It says it will work.
No.
No,
It
it
says
will not.
No.
object. It will not work. Okay. See now, let me insert into y1. Okay. Now what happened? Select the star from y. How many records will be there? One record. So see, remember, now what happened? Now same thing. I am trying to use create or replace. Now what is create or replace? So we are, if table is
Drop
all
and
there,
recreate.
we are dropping and recreating. Now tell me now time travel won't work here directly. Now what happened? Tell me now see. Now
0
tell me
records.
0 records because since it's a new table. Now what happened? Now I want to get this one record. Now how to get this one record? First we should, okay, see in the show
Alter the
tables history. Okay, like, okay, y. Now how many tables will be there? There will be 2 entries will be there. Tell me out of these 2 entries, which is the active table is a drop table. First is the drop
Table
table.
with 0
It's
records.
a 0 records, is the new
With
table.
null.
Now I want to get this data back. How to get this data back? Undrop will work.
No.
No,
We need
it
to
won't
alter
work.
the thing.
So because no in data, so when we try to undrop this also time, but what happened? So first we should make the table name available. So y rename to y. Okay. Now what happened? Tell me now. Now tell me now in my historical table only one entry will be there. Now, how to bring this data by using which concept? By using undrop feature. Got the point? Huh? Simple concept. So see the functionality. One more question, then you can able to ask the question. So let me go back here. Now tell me, now in my table, I have created one table with three records. I drop it, two columns, insert one record, drop it, create it, drop it. Now if I drop, now which table will get by default? Which one? By default, which one will get? Which table you
Previous
get?
table.
Latest, nothing
Previous
but
table.
P record. This will get.
Latest table.
But if I want to get this table, what I should do?
First change the latest table name.
First we should rename this table and undrop it. If I want this table, what I should do? Tell me. First we should rename the existing table with different name
Rename
and make it undrop.
undrop.
Okay, see, got the point. The same thing. Now see, your task is what? Right now we're discussing query ID. Same thing, you can go with offset and timestamp. Syntax work on this offset and timestamp. So we can able to access timestamp how many ways? One is query ID, nothing but the statement. Other one is the offset concept. One more the timestamp concept. So your task is to work on these two syntaxes. They're asking the syntaxes, the same functionality. Got the point? A simple concept. Okay. Getting a little bit somewhat. Handout sign one. So permanent table by default, what type of table it's a? Tell me what type of table?
Permanent table.
Permanent table. Okay. So got the point. Huh? Any other question? See, this is important. Which activity requires intervention by Snowflake support team to restore data? Which activity?
Failsafe.
Failsafe. So failsafe. So when the failsafe is start, tell me. When the
After the
failsafe
time
retention time gets over.
Okay, once we disable or once that retention time is complete, we can go back and bring it the same thing. Tell me, suppose see, imagine if a Snowflake table is suddenly dropped. Can you determine who dropped it and when? Anybody guess how to find it? Anybody simple thing where we can check? Anybody?
Show table.
Show tables. If I see show tables, now what happened? So this is my table. Okay, now I drop it. So in the show tables, we can get what? Only what? Only the owner we can get. But what happened? I want to know who dropped this table. Tell me how to get it. Now go to query history. So now what happened? Search for what? What's the keyword? Drop is the keyword. Drop and a table. Okay, you can go for. Okay. Now see the same thing. So now see here. So see user is there. Okay, see here now what happened? Okay, see here user. Okay. So here user who drop it? Praveen SF drop it. Okay, so this is the username. Okay, this way we can able to get it done. Okay, so in the query history, we can go back and we can able to bring the data. One more important thing. Let me help with the question. So see, this is important. You can able to understand. Tell me which of the following statements are true about failsafe. Tell me first one is true or false?
True. Yes.
True. Only Snowflake is true. Only him. Tell me what about third one? Failsafe is not available for table that have time travel. True or false?
False.
False. No.
True.
Permanent table have
false.
So false. No. Okay. Fails for permanent table have both failsafe and time travel. No. False. Okay. What about last one? Last one. Tell me.
True.
The data stored as part of failsafe is a part of storage cost. Tell me.
True.
It's a simple thing. Now, what happens? Snowflake, why he will store first data freely? Correct? No. So see, if I put, suppose if I increase from 1 to 2, nothing but tell me cost will be increased or not. Suppose by default it's a 1 day. Now I make it to 5 days. Nothing but what Snowflake will be charging for how many days? 5 days. So it's a same thing. So see, answer is, so it's a true. What about second one? Failsafe is a reliable way to create a dev, test queue and other environments. True or false?
True.
Tell me. See. Tell me. So in the development testing queue environment, data is important or not? In the development database, I created 100 dummy permanent tables for testing purpose. Tell me this
True.
data is important or not? Understand the question. So see, this data is
No,
important or
not
not?
important. It is
Not
This
important.
is
Now
for
tell
No,
me,
not
client
not
which data is
important.
important? Production data, dev data,
production data.
production data. So
Production
tell
data.
me, failsafe is when we'll get in the production data. No, so for
Production.
development, what happened? This is not important. No, we are just for testing purpose. I am trying to. So for testing purpose, what type of table you should prefer in the development or in some environments? Go for what tables? Go for
Transient.
transient table
Transient
or
or
temporary tables. Why? Because so no failsafe is there. When no failsafe, nothing but no failsafe class will be there. That's what the functionality. Got it? So simple thing. Okay, getting the point? Yes or no, getting a somewhat. So this is the same concept. We can able to make it working. So you should work on it and you can able to bring. So once we drop now, what happened? By which keyword? Undrop keyword. We can able to make it. Okay. Suppose once we disable, what happened for permanent table data move to the fail.